Bonjour les élèves. Today we're going to start our first section on questions. So tournez à la page 53, turn to page 53, or that could be Unit 3, page 11. So how do we make a question? We've been doing this since last year. There are actually three ways. You can do number 1, intonation, number 2, esca, which is what we've been mostly using, and number 3, inversion. So what's intonation? Not the one you really want to use. You make your sentence in French. Tu joues au foot. You play soccer. And all you do is add a question mark and raise your voice. Tu joues au foot? You play soccer? Not the best one to use. So I would say in our class, I do not want you using this one. Number 2 was esca. That's what we mainly have been using. You take your normal French sentence, you play soccer, tu joues au foot, and all you do is add a question mark at the end and esca at the front. This is what you hear in most conversations. It's kind of like our do and does, but you can use them for every verb and every subject pronoun. There's not all the rules in English, well, like we have in English. So, est-ce que tu joues au foot? And now, don't forget, esca actually means, is it that? So est is the is it, that. Is it that you play soccer? Kind of similar to our do or does. It makes a yes-no question. Now, esca does have one special rule, and that is if you have whatever's going to follow it, your subject pronoun or your noun, your subject, starts with a vowel, you're going to have that special little problem we have when you have a French word with 2 or 3 letters long, and it ends in an E. The next word starts with a vowel, A-E-I-O-U. You drop the E and do an apostrophe. That's where it doesn't sound too choppy. So otherwise you'd have est-ce qu'il chante bien. Sounds like you have the hiccups. Est-ce qu'il. So you want it to blend. Est-ce qu'il chante bien? Does he sing well? So this generally only happens when you have he, she, or they. So let's look at page 54, 54. We're going to fill these in. Remember, you can pause the video at any time if you need to in order to write. I'm going to go rather quickly. So the first one, do you like to sing? We do it the same way we've done every sentence. Step 1, what's my subject pronoun? But being that we're having a question, you know you're going to have to put it a little bit further on in your sentence. So maybe middle of the line. So tu, you is tu. How do you say like? It is the verb aimer. Take off the er, add your ending. And then you have to sing, which would be chanter. Now, you only have to conjugate your first verb, so that was aimer. That's why chanter has the word to in it, and you didn't have to change it. So you add a question mark at the end, esca at the front. Number 2. Now, this one's a little different because in English, we use inversion on this one. In French, you can use whichever you want, but we're using esca, so that's what we're doing. Same thing. Start with your subject pronoun. It's you, tu. And then what's my verb? You are. So that would be être, to a. And then what's left? French, français. And then make it a question mark at the end, esca at the front. Est-ce que tu es français? Is she Canadian? So our subject pronoun is she, elle. She is être, so L-A-E-S-T. And then the nationality, what's next? Canadienne. So she is Canadian. Throw a question mark at the end, esca at the front. And this one has an Q-U apostrophe because it's followed by the vowel. Otherwise, it's esca-elle. We want escale. Blends. Sounds much better. Do they like French? So what's our subject pronoun? They. So il or elle with the S, your choice. I usually go with the masculine. What's your what's your verb? Like, which is aimer. So you take off the er, add ent for the they form. And then what's left? The French class would be le français. And then question mark at the end, esca at the front. Q-U apostrophe because of the vowel. Does he swim? What's my subject pronoun? He, il. What's the verb to swim? Nager. Take off the ER, add your ending, E. And there's nothing else after it, so you can put your question mark too. And then you just throw Eska in front. Est-ce qu'il nage? Again, it starts with a vowel, so Q-U apostrophe. Okay, number 6. Are you speaking English? Remember, these are mostly all yes-no questions. Oh, it popped up there. So, you. What's our subject pronoun? To. Wait a minute. Where's my to coming from here? There we go. To. And what is the action? Speaking. So that's parler. Take off the ER, add your ending, ES. Tu parles, and then English. Anglais. Throw a question mark at the end, Eska at the front. Est-ce que tu parles anglais? Are they from Buffalo? What's our subject pronoun? They, il. What's the verb? They are, there's nothing else there, so etc. Sont, S-O-N-T, from Buffalo, de Buffalo. Question mark at the end, Eska at the front, and the Q-U apostrophe. Does she watch TV? What's your subject pronoun? She, elle. What's the verb? To watch, regarder. Take off the ER, add an E for the she form. What's left? TV, la télé. Question at the end, Eska at the front, Q-U apostrophe. Are you hungry? Now these 9 and 10 is a little tricky. These are être type expressions in English, to be expressions. You are hungry. But if you remember in French, they're avoir expressions. You have hunger, you have thirst. So what's your subject pronoun? You, to. What's the avoir form that goes with to? Ah, A-S. What's the word for hungry or hunger? Faim. And then question mark at the end, Eska at the front. Est-ce que tu as faim? Are you hungry? And are we thirsty? Subject pronouns we, nous. Avoir form of we is avons. Thirsty is soif, and throw Eska in the front. Est-ce que nous avons soif? So very simple to make the questions. No, make your sentence first. Just throw Eska in front. So what about inversion? And we'll practice inversion later on, but just looking at what it is, on page 59, that would be page 17 in Unit 3. So to make inversion, you start with your normal sentence. Tu joues au foot. You play soccer. And then all you do is take word 1 and word 2, so your subject pronoun, your verb, and flip them. And put a little dash. So instead of tu joues, it's joues tu. Joues tu au foot. You've seen this in the classroom a lot. We've used it with où habites-tu? Where do you live? Puis-je aller au WC? May I go to the bathroom? So we have done this already. So when you've seen questions in class without Eska, that's pretty much what they were, was inversion instead. This is used most in writing because it saves you a lot of writing time. But we'll come back to this and do the practice in a little while. So what we need, if we want more than just yes, no questions, you're going to want to have other things too. So that's what we're going to talk about before we get into more of inversion. So looking one special rule. Remember, we had one special rule with Eska. We have one special rule with inversion. If you are using he or she, you need to add a T between the verb and the subject pronoun, not just a dash, dash T dash, because otherwise you have two vowels next to each other. Yeah, normally we drop the E, do the apostrophe. You can't do that with inversion because you're getting rid of your verb. So instead of having the hiccups, chante-il, it's now chante-il. And you're just adding a T. We've seen that with, we talked about names. Comment s'appelle-t-il? Comment s'appelle-t-elle? We saw it when we did age. Quel âge a-t-il? Quel âge a-t-elle? So with he and she, you usually have to add an extra T. Not always, but usually. It's because you want to separate the two vowels. But you still need to show that you flip-flopped your subject pronoun and your verb. So information questions are question words. Page 55, 55. So that would be page 13. So flip back to 13. So with the question words, super, super simple. How do we make an information question? I don't want to just know, are you French? Yes. No. We want more information. So you still make your question either with ESCA or inversion. It's totally your choice. And just put the question word in front. How easy is that? So, example, you had, est-ce que tu chantes? Do you sing? I want to say when. I throw it in front. Quand est-ce que tu chantes? When do you sing? Or in inversion, it would have been chantes-tu? And then you just put the question word in front. Quand chantes-tu? Same thing. So, what are the question words you need to know? Où, where. Don't forget that accent grave, otherwise it's the word or. We've had this before with like, où habites-tu? Where do you live? D'où es-tu? Where are you from? So, où. And we actually had it in our notes recently too. Quand, when. You've seen that with birthdays. C'est quand ton anniversaire? When's your birthday? This is my favorite one, I think, because it gives you so many options on how to answer it. À quelle heure? At what time? Or what time to us. So we've seen that in the time unit when you said, à quelle heure est le dîner? What time is dinner? So we usually say, what time is dinner? But it's supposed to be, at what time is dinner? So à quelle heure? Comment? You had that with comment ça va? How's it going? So comment. Pourquoi? This is totally new. Why? Pourquoi? Good word to know. So pourquoi. The next one is not really a question word, but, well, no, take that back. It is a question word. I'm kind of jumping ahead of myself here. So, que and quoi both mean what. Now, in our case, we're going to use que, Q-U-E, because quoi is used only when you have a preposition. And we're not going to be talking too much about that right now, but more so, we're not really going to be using any questions like that in class this year. So, que, Q-U-E, is what I need you to make sure you know. But remember, if you're going to use Q-U-E in a ESCA question, you now have a word that's 2 or 3 letters long, ends in an E. The next word would be a vowel, ESCA, starts with an E. You'd have to drop the E and do an apostrophe. So a little extra thing to do there if you're using ESCA. Okay, parce que is not a question word. That kind of goes with them, though. It doesn't really have its own place, does it? So it's kind of your answer. Pourquoi? Parce que. Why? Because. Parce que. So it's not a question word, but it kind of goes with this topic. So we're going to add it in here anyway. Combien? How many or how much? In the food unit, we had c'est combien? How much is it? You also had it with numbers when I said combien de fenêtres est dans la classe? How many windows are in the classroom? And then you would give me a number. So combien? How many? Qui means who. Now, qui is used in 3 different ways. We are not talking about that today. That's going to be another video of how to use qui. But qui is who. You had it with qui est? Who is it? Again, that was inversion. So let's practice these using ESCA. Since we haven't practiced inversion yet, I want to do these using ESCA. You're going to do the same thing we just did. Now, if you need to pause the video, please do, because I am going to go rather quickly. So fill these in. What's your subject pronoun? You. Do. What's the verb? To speak. Parler. Take off the ER, add ES. And then the language, français, or le français. I've seen it both ways. And then throw ESCA in front. Est-ce que tu parles le français? Est-ce que tu parles français? I normally use it without the article, really. So now we have, that's a yes-no question. There is no question word. The next one, when do you study? We have a question word, but still do the same thing. What's my subject pronoun? To. What's my verb? Étudier. Take off the ER, add an ES, throw ESCA in front, throw your question word in front of that. Quand est-ce que tu étudies? Does she sing? Yes. No. Means there's no question word. So what's my subject pronoun? She. Well, how do you say sing? Chante. Take off the ER, add an E, and throw ESCA in front. But it's a QU apostrophe because of the vowel. Est-ce qu'elle chante bien? Or sorry, est-ce qu'elle chante? does she sing? I was adding more to it. Where do they live? How do you say they? Ils. What's the verb to live? Habiter. Take off the ER, add ENT. Throw est in front. Est qu'ils habitent? And the question word in front of that. Où. Où est-ce qu'ils habitent? Where do they live? How does he dance? Because I'm not going to ask him if he doesn't dance very well. So he is il. The verb danser, take off the ER, add an E. Put est in front. Est-ce qu'il, the QU apostrophe. And the question word for how. Comment est-ce qu'il danse? Number 6. Do you like to swim? Yes. No. Yes, no question word, so do what we normally do. Subject pronoun, to. Like, M with the ES, because it's a to form. To swim, you're not conjugating it. Nager. And throw eska in front. Why are you watching TV? You're supposed to be doing your homework. So why are you watching TV? So you is to. To watch is regarder. Take off the ER, add ES. Add what's left, la télé. And then throw eska in front and throw your question word in front of that. Pourquoi est-ce que tu regardes la télé? What do you like? So start with you, to. The word to like is M. Take off the ER, add ES. And throw eska in front. So the question word in front of that, which is QUE, but you can't have E followed by a vowel. So it becomes QU apostrophe. So qu'est-ce que tu aimes? Not est-ce que tu aimes, qu'est-ce que tu aimes? What time do you play volleyball? It's going to be a long one. So the subject pronoun is you. Play is jouer. Take off the ER, add ES. What's left? Au volley. Throw eska in front, eska. And then the question word, at what time? À quelle heure? À quelle heure est-ce que tu joues au volley? Where do they have dinner? They is il. The verb for dinner is dîner. Take off the ER, add ENT. Put eska in front of it. And the question word, where? Où est-ce qu'ils dînent? So let's flip over to inversion now. We haven't practiced it yet, and this is our last thing we're going to practice today. So looking at it, so when do you study? This is inversion now. This is the first time we're going to be practicing the inversion. This is on page 60, la page 60. So flip over to page 60. Now remember, inversion doesn't use eska. The whole purpose of it is to kind of make it less work for you, and it's the intellectual way. So, but we still start the same way. First, when do you study? What's my subject pronoun? And my subject pronoun is you, to. I'm going to move it down a little further when we use inversion because it's going to be in the middle or at the end. So now my verb, what's my action? To study. So that's a to da. You take off the ER, you add ES. But here's where the difference is. Instead of putting it after the word to, you're going to put it in front of the word to with a dash. Don't forget the dash. That kind of shows that it was flip-flopped. Now, normally we go step 3. What's left? Nothing. And then we were going step 4, add eska. No, we're not using eska. So the last thing we have to do is, do we have a question word? When? Yeah, we do. So, quand étudies-tu? When do you study? Whole lot less writing there than if you used eska. So where do you live? We've seen this one before. So what's my subject? You. What's the verb? To live. Habiter. Take off the ER, add ES, put a dash. And it goes in front of the subject pronoun. And do we have anything else? No. What's my question word? Where? Où. Où habites-tu? How does she sing? Good? Bad? I don't know. So, what's my subject pronoun? She. What's the verb? To sing. Chante. Take off the ER, add an E. Uh-oh, we have an E next to an E. We can't do that, so this is our little extra rule. Add the T with the dashes. And then, what's my question word? Comment. Comment chante-t-elle? Now, number 4 is actually going to have a little bit more to it. We haven't had what comes next. Now we do. So why do I speak French? because I find it fun. So, what's my subject pronoun? I, je. What's my verb? To speak. That's parler. Take off the ER, add an E, put a dash. What's the third? What's left? French, français. And then the last part, do I have a question word? Yeah, I do. So put it in front. Pourquoi parles-je français? What time do they eat? What's the word for they? Il. What's the verb to eat? Manger. Take off the ER, add ENT, put a dash. And do I have anything else? No. Do I have a question word? Yes. À quelle heure mange-t-il? So what time do they eat? Number 6. When does he have dinner? What's the word for he? Il. And what's the word to have dinner? Dîner. Take off the ER, add the E. E followed by a vowel. Put the T with the dash. And do we have anything else? No. Do we have a question word? Yes. Quand. When. Quand dîne-t-il? Why do you work? I already gave you the question word. So you is to. What's the verb to work? Travailler. Take off the ER, add ES. Do we have a question word? Yeah, because I already had it there. So why? Pourquoi? Pourquoi travailles-tu? Why do you work? Because I need money. That's why. Got to pay the bills somehow. Why are we studying? We is nous. What's the verb to study? Étudier. Take off the ER, add the ending, ONS, and the dash. Do we have anything else? No. So, do we have a question word? Yes. So, où étudions-nous? How do I dance? I is je. Danser is the verb. Take off the ER, add an E and a dash. And do I have a question word? Yes. Comment? Comment danse-je? The last one's a longer one, but it shows you when we have the extras there. So what's my subject pronoun? Elle. What's the verb? To watch. Regarder. Take off the ER, add an E. Up, E followed by a vowel. Can't do it, so add the dash T dash. Do I have anything else? Watch TV. I do have stuff left over, so I need to write la télé after it all, just like you did in the normal question or a normal sentence. What you have left, you write at the end. Then you look and go, do I have a question word? What time? Oh, yep, I do. So, à quelle heure? So, à quelle heure regarde-t-elle la télé? It would be a lot longer if we did that in ESCA. So that's how we do inversion. So that is where we are going to end today. Au revoir.